Taiwan, I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. It's just over a month until Taiwan goes to the polls. With time running out to win over undecided voters, two campaigns have revealed new policies. John Van Trieste brings us this election update.
It's a classic whistle-stop campaign appearance for DPP presidential candidate Lai Ching-te. In Taiwan, temple events like these are the perfect chance to meet ordinary people. There's just over a month until the election, and Lai's here on a chilly Taipei day to drum up support. His message is one his party has long promoted, stopping China's long-held ambition to take control of Taiwan by invading if necessary. Lai is not the only one using the time-tested temple approach. Taiwan People's Party candidate Ko Wen-je is visiting one in the outlying Penghu Islands. This is an area where resources, including medical resources, are limited. It's an issue Ke, a former surgeon, understands well. He says he's got a plan for improving medical care here.
其实医疗应该要整合来，我觉得那个医院太分散了，整合起来会有比较才有办法维持那种比较高科技的医疗。
He also says he has plans for better transport and better long-term care for senior citizens and people with disabilities. The Kuomintang is also presenting new policy ideas. Top of the list is mental health care for young people. Both candidate Hou You-yi and his running mate Zhao Xiaokong say it's a topic they've been thinking about since they first met. On April 27, 1998, a 34-year-old mentally ill man armed with knives hijacked a bus, taking around 20 hostages. Hou You-yi, then deputy head of the Criminal Investigation Bureau, was called to the scene. Media personality Zhao Xiaokong was also there to help negotiate. With help from others, the hostages were released and the crisis was resolved. Looking back years later, Hou says mental health in the country still needs addressing. He says the limited free counseling sessions offered to 15 to 30-year-olds don't go far enough. Meanwhile, Zhao's taken aim at the ruling DPP's plan to phase out nuclear power. He says nuclear is the way the rest of the world is going. At this appearance with Hou in southern Taiwan, in areas spotted with fish farms, he criticized the growing number of solar panels taking over what used to be fish ponds.
为了把核废掉，天然气增加，然后呢，绿电来不及就到处种，所以你为了这个光电的利益，你让渔民的利益损失嘛。
Personality and party loyalty have been big factors in this campaign. But with time running out to appeal to undecided voters, the candidates are starting to go heavy on policy, finally letting voters know what it is they'll be voting for. Chris Ma and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Prosecutors in Taipei are looking at whether the Kuomintang and Taiwan People's Party broke election rules during coalition talks. A proposed joint ticket never emerged because the talks collapsed, but a complaint alleges the two sides offered each other bribes in return for concessions while the talks were going on. Both Kuomintang presidential candidate Hou You-yi and Taiwan People's Party candidate Ko Wen-je are listed in the complaint. Both parties say the investigation is political, with Ke's party calling it a waste of resources. The complaint was filed by a fringe political group that supports Taiwan independence. The U.S. representative to Taiwan says she hopes her country can continue to cooperate with Taiwan's next president. American Institute in Taiwan Director Sandra Outkirk spoke about election interference and disinformation ahead of Taiwan's upcoming elections. She says the U.S. policy toward Taiwan would remain unchanged regardless of the party in power.
I want to emphasize that the United States has deep confidence in Taiwan's electoral processes and democratic system. We believe it is for the Taiwan voters to decide their next leader, free from outside interference. And as I have said many times before, the United States is not taking sides in Taiwan's election. We do not have a preferred candidate.
Regional politicians and thinkers are warning about China's rising global influence. Several sounded the alarm at the China in the World conference in Taipei. Rick Liao reports.
It's just over a month until national elections here in Taiwan, and all eyes are on China's influence and infiltration of that crucial vote. Here at the China in the World conference, regional political leaders and experts are sharing their experiences of that China threat, whether it's military and economic coercion, cyber attacks or cognitive warfare. In his opening remarks, Taiwan's Foreign Minister Joseph Wu had this warning.
Taiwan faces Chinese coercion and gray zone tactics on a daily basis. We are not only the constant target of China's intimidation and political coercion, but also a testing ground for China's cognitive warfare.
From visiting politicians from the Philippines, South Korea and Japan, we're hearing a growing sense of urgency in the need to stand up against China's attempts to destabilize the region. Taiwan's message is we are on the front line, but you could be next. Alex Chen and Rick Liao in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's top weapons developer has started building a drone factory in the country's south. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen broke ground at the site on the Zhongshan Institute's Jiayi campus on Tuesday. The over $30 million facility will make both recon and attack drones after construction finishes in 2025. Experts say the unmanned aircraft could help deter an attack from China, which claims Taiwan as its own.
风群无人机它可以去同时去攻击这个敌人目标里面非常多的一些设施，比如说它的雷达，比如说它一些指挥所、通信站，乃至于停在地面的比如说军机或者是船舰的一些部分，或者是物资的堆积场。
The newly opened Taipei Dome has apparently sprung a leak. Spectators at the Asian Baseball Championship game between the Philippines and Thailand spotted water coming down from the roof. The dome's builder, Far Glory Group, says that the leaks came from badly connected water pipes. It's the latest in a long line of problems for the dome, which finally opened this year, 7 years later than planned. An indigenous Rukai couple from Taiwan's far south is fighting to save their village one tree at a time. John Van Trieste reports.
It's another back-breaking day on the mountainside. Once outside of the village, there's no running water. The only way to get water uphill is by carrying it in heavy buckets. But for Sula Sukimadrimi, this is important work. His life's work, in fact. This is the land of Taiwan's indigenous Rukai people, where the forest once helped provide life's necessities.
森林过去就好像是我们的畜牧场。
In the 1960s and 70s, though, loggers came in and began cutting down the trees. There was pushback from the locals, but it faded as some people compromised with the loggers to get money to live on. Sula Sukinadrimi watched it happen.
被殖民的一个思想，被殖民就是说做政府不会做错的事情，然后再加上利益的问题，中间非常多的错。
Around 30 years ago, he'd had enough and started planting new trees on his own. It was slow going, but it was at that time that local people started appreciating just how serious the deforestation had become.
赫伯台风这一次带来丰沛的雨量，在屏东地区以雾台乡山区的灾情最为严重。
A series of intense and sometimes deadly typhoons tore through the mountains. With no trees to hold the soil back, mountainsides crumbled. In 2009, Morakot, the fiercest storm of all, proved too much. 5 local villages all picked up and left the mountains and their ancestral lands for good. But Sula Sukimadrimi and his wife were determined to stay. They borrowed money to buy the land with the only roads into the region and block loggers from entering the mountains.
我公常讲的，如果我们不做，谁要做？
Reforesting their mountains has been slow and arduous.
种树很难，尤其是你要让它成林，它是更难的。10年内，你要好好照顾它，它才有办法成林。
But the hard work has started to pay off. The couple has planted over 10,000 trees, reforesting 100 hectares. It's far from their goal of a restored 600 hectares, but they've begun bringing children with them to pass on their mission, ensuring their home will see flourishing forests again. Lofi Li and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out the Santas running for charity in Liverpool. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.